Hangout in the group. As you can see, we
Evening,
have
guys.
myself and the BP Prof. No burning tonight, I'm afraid. Burning's not feeling very well, so he's not going to be joining us. But unfortunate, but the show must go on, as they say. So thank you everybody who's joining us in chat. There's quite a few of them there tonight. It'd be good to hear what your thoughts are and stuff. So I think we'll just get on with it.
All right, on with the show. So tonight we're mostly talking about the raid coming up. It is the 50th anniversary raid, but we do have a couple quick bug fixes here. I'm getting it refitted, and then only saved designs for that hull type could be loaded in the ship designer, and that was really pissing me off. And for some reason, I didn't even think that Kixeye screwed it up. I thought it was me, but no, it was Kixeye. Of course, it was Kixeye. So I guess that's fixed. Addressed an issue where the scroll bar for the Intel Lab window would incorrectly return to the top of the list without user input, blah, blah, blah. They did change that layout recently.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Irv.
I was going to say that did actually quite annoy me.
The changed layout or the flipping back to the top?
Both.
Oh, I like the new layout, actually. I like the scrolling rather than having to click all the numbers.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably because I'm just so used to the other one.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of a challenge, if you knew what you wanted to find, but you click and see if you got the right number.
Yeah, because I used to know which number each of things was on, so you could just go straight in and click the number and be right on the right page. So, yeah.
All right. I didn't remember it that well.
I obviously
It's a little
spent
mini game.
time looking at stuff.
I guess so. All right. Let's see. Corrected an error that was preventing a player from accessing the context menu for another player's campaign relay. Tower, I guess that would be important if there were co-op campaigns going on. I can't think of why else that would be important.
No.
But they must have screwed that one up recently, because last time there were co-op campaigns, we were able to do co-op campaigns. So that. And then this last one's kind of big. Corrosive damage over time will now award players with event damage points. This has been fixed since the start of the last Forsaken mission cycle. So people were not getting raid points or mission points when they're hitting things with like Cobra scatter guns and doing their damage over time, or what, Styx torpedoes, probably another one.
Yeah.
So now you'll be getting points for those kind of weapons. This one doesn't mention, I know the other thing that was ticking people off is that they weren't getting VXP for doing that sort of damage. Do you know if that's fixed or changed? Or
I have no idea, to be perfectly honest. But I can find out, and I will find out and post on the page.
Okay. Cool. So let's get right into the raid. Starts tomorrow, and they've changed it up. We've been doing these campaign raids for a while, and now it is back to sets of targets on the world map. So there's an A, B, and a C set. I guess A will be the hardest. So you complete a set of 3 A targets, or 5 B or 5 C targets, and you get a bonus. Within each target, there's payload ships that run away. So you can chase them down for a large point payout, or you could take it slow and just hit the guards. If you prep for someone else, those ships will not come back, even if you don't kill them in the prep. So that'll be lower points all around. But like I said, you can help other players by prepping for them. So you can hit a bunch of the ships, leave, one wounded ship, and then they can come in and finish it off and get their bonus. And the other thing to note is they say that the targets will be findable on the locator. So I know in previous times we've had this sort of raid format. You're always looking around for a 41 or a 65 or whatever.
Yeah.
So hopefully the locator helps.
It might stop the spam of chat as well, going, can anybody see a 65? Anybody see a 43? And all that sort of jazz. No doubt it's going to happen, though.
Yeah.
One thing I did notice
But now you can...
is
Go ahead.
raid video, they're saying A, B, and C sets, but then they're just numbered in there.
Yeah.
It's probably better if they put an A on it, like in the old school ones that we used to have. They used to put an A and then they used to put the number next to it. You know, that probably would have worked out a bit better, I think.
Yeah. They did say that there would be some sort of tracking, and they called it in the modal. And I don't really know what they mean by the modal. I assume that's the campaign or the raid pop-up window. So maybe you'll see like a set is a 65 and a 63 and a 61 or something like that. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Okay.
I mean, the whole thing, I mean, the raid briefing versus the video, I thought their quality was just awful this time. It was very, very confusing briefing. It conflicted with the video in a couple parts. I mentioned it in the screw ups, but I thought it was really bad this month.
Yeah, it wasn't a brilliant one. I think maybe it might have put together on a bit of a rush before doing.
I guess. I mean, the video was, I thought, pretty good. But
it's been a lot better than the recent ones that we've had, for sure.
Yeah. But but so then where it conflicted with the raid briefing, it was kind of tricky to figure out what to trust. So anyway, so when you finish a set, a Scourge boss spawns, and it lasts for 20 minutes, and it is a co-op target for event points, and so it'll be Scourge targets instead of Draconian ships. So I guess look out for those. I guess there's no guarantees that you're going to where it spawns, or if you're going to get your own Scourge boss, but just be on the lookout for them popping up, I guess, if you like hitting Scourge.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird setup, really. You'd have thought that, I mean, if you had sort of a Scourge boss which was a campaign, just like a one-level campaign or something like that, which popped up every time you unlocked it, maybe that would have been a better idea than putting it on the world map, because obviously people who want to just hit Scourge targets are going to be looking out for those and sort of hit those rather than doing the rest of the sets, supposedly, and then you might not get a chance to hit them if you actually want to. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. I don't know. We really have no sense of how difficult this raid's going to be. Points versus damage. Right? I mean, I've seen a little bit of Price's preview video. I still didn't really get a good sense of difficulty from it.
No.
Do you feel like you have a sense of it?
No, not really. I think that, obviously with this type of raid in the past, we've been able to prep out a lot of targets with subs and stuff like that to sort of minimize your damage. I think what everybody's got to remember is that, one-shotting the target's not always the best option. If you can use a couple of fleets, I know that it does leave you open to it getting pinched, but if you can use subs and, as I like to say, thin out a target before you go in and finish it up, it's going to save you a lot of repair time, I would have thought.
Yeah. Although you might be missing out on those payload points. And so again, we don't know how the balance of points is going to be between those and not, you know, how much more points you're going to get by getting those payload ships.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's something you need to sort of try out really and see whether it makes sense for you to one shot it to
Yeah.
rather than prep them out and then work out how much it's going to cost you either way for the amount of points that you're getting, and then sort of work your way from that really.
Yep. All right. Let's see. So we know it's a 4-day raid. They said that sector threat bar for Armada spawns and mining platforms will be disabled. So fill up on uranium while you can. I know I'm filling up tonight.
Yeah,
I was pretty close to full anyway.
That's quite a bit of I don't know really, because the trouble is you can only hold a certain amount of uranium, and as we'll get onto a little bit later on, one of the new weapons costs uranium in order to build. So for those people that are going out and coining fleets, they aren't going to be able to coin them with over a certain amount of those weapons on there, are they? If they haven't got the uranium.
Yep. But you know what? I'm sort of okay with that, and maybe we can talk about that when we get to the heavy cruiser blueprint. So we'll put a pin in that, and I don't think I showed the build here, but in the article I just published, it actually came out kind of interesting. All right, so Vanguards will be back. 2 spawn opportunities. I think it's Saturday, 48 hours after the raid starts, and then Sunday at 9 a.m. Kicksai time. So if you like Vanguards, there'll be Vanguards. And I think I'd talk a little more about those in a minute too. So here I'm just showing a screenshot of I think this is from the raid video, just showing how there's convoy targets running away and guards. The player entered from the lower right of the screen, so the convoys are running away, and they were going through a cordon of interceptors and Kodiaks. So that's what was going on there.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting to figure out different ways on each of the different targets, I think.
Yeah, maybe if you have a fast fleet or a sub fleet, you can kind of loop around the outside and cut off the convoy at the end or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, be interesting. Obviously something like Gearheads or one of Blitzkrieg's probably work quite well as well. Just give you that extra boost of speed at the beginning of combat as well.
Yeah, or even just Silent Hunters and get that 10% throughout.
Indeed. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Level locking. This was one of the more confusing areas. The raid briefing sort of conflicted with the video, and then some of the info that even was put into the raid briefing a second go around. So the world map targets are described as A set level 71 and up, B set 51 to 70, C set 40 to 50, and then open set 1 to 39. So there was an initial description that if you hit stuff, if you hit the open set, you'd get a pop-up if your level was too high and you wouldn't be allowed to. But then the later info said it's not restricted, you're just going to get reduced points. So this above level 45 gets reduced points for open set. Above level 60 also gets reduced points for the C set. So, I don't know what that first set of levels means.
Yeah, I'm also at a bit of a loss, but it was a bit something that was added in late about the reduced points, because originally, like 2 weeks ago, it was said in previous sort of heads up briefing that there wouldn't be any level lock-in and there wouldn't be any reduced payouts. Everybody would be able to hit everything and gain the maximum points. So to actually put the briefing out and then put it in afterwards was a bit naughty, I think.
Yeah, it's you know,
A bit
it's
naughty,
kind of
but
mess.
not unexpected, if you like.
Yeah, I thought this was a newer, gentler, better kick side, but this, I mean, we'll see how the raid goes. But I mean, so far it's just a mess. I mean, really.
Yeah, but did you expect much else? Let's be honest.
I mean, I don't think. Usually, I can kind of look at it and figure it out. This one, it's just there's stuff that just outright makes no sense, conflicts. This one is especially bad.
I'm going to break my own rule and swear here and say it's complete head fuck. To be perfectly honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Fubar. All right. Vanguard. So the Vanguard is mostly the same. Again, the prizes: Hellstar, Ghostcrawler, Death Scythe, and Cobra Scattergun. The new bit is, and this is another spot where it conflicted. In the raid briefing, it said one of the non-winners, and in the video, it said all of the non-winners are going to get a Ghostcrawler blueprint shard. And in fact, what that shard is good for also conflicted. The briefing said a top prize. The video said a Ghostcrawler. Now, I think it's been clarified that you need 250 shards and you'll get a Ghostcrawler.
250. Yeah, so I'll just go out and hit 250 Vanguards just to make sure I get one. But then
Right.
what cracks me
And
up,
if you,
the point of it for me is, you know, everybody's been concerned about trying to do the most damage because they've been saying, you know, the more damage you do, the more chance you've got of winning the blueprint. Now what they're saying is sit your ass back and then you're pretty much guaranteed over a space of time that you'll get one anyway.
yeah,
Because if it goes by
200,
damage, you know what I mean? If it goes by
yeah,
damage, you
yeah,
do
and
it until you do 5% and then just sit in the corner whilst everybody else dies.
right, and if you get, you know, I mean, I didn't hit very many. Well, I haven't hit any of these yet. But if you're one of those people who's hit a lot of them, and you have like 100 scatter guns, and you get your 101st scatter gun instead of a blueprint shard, you're gonna be upset.
Yeah. And to be honest,
I'm
though,
just
I
thinking.
think it was the scatter gun that was on there, or have they changed it now? I
Oh,
thought when
this one might be me. All right, I better
think
look.
it was the Proto Nemesis instead of the Cobra Scattergun. I don't think the Cobra Scattergun was in there.
Oh,
I think it
you're
was the
right. You're
Hellstar
right.
Ghost Crawler, Death Scythe, and the Proto Nemesis. I'm telling you now,
I,
if I win a 7th Proto Nemesis, I'm not going to be a happy bunny.
you'd rather have one 250th of a ghost crawler.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, sorry about that. All right. So proto, not a scattergun, because scattergun's redeemable, isn't it? This raid. Yeah. So anyway, and then again, your 2 spawn chances. I mentioned those a little earlier. So good luck with the vanguards, and we'll move on.
See, the worst thing about it is
So
I've just built a fleet that will one-shot those easily. I've refitted a fleet purely for one-shotting them, and now I'm upset.
right.
We'll carry on anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so the heavy cruiser. This is kind of a beast hull. It's got some interesting pluses and minuses, I guess you could say. So it's got, a nice slot configuration. It's got 9 regular weapons and 3 heavy weapons, which turns out to be just the right amount. You've got 5 armor slots and 5 special slots. And then you've got assault and siege deflection. And if you're not familiar with how those work, they work like plate armor, except it takes off from ships for assault and turrets for siege. So 300 is a really big number for assault deflection. The only other ship that has it is the Proto Hunter, and that one is 60. And having 60 assault deflection is really nice. I'm just talking from experience here. So bumping that up to 300 is huge for anti-ship. And then 300 siege deflection is decent. A Neptune has 600, which again, speaking from experience, is really nice. But 300 isn't too bad. So you've got really high resistances. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to say, with assault and siege deflection, yeah, the siege deflection's nice in a base hitter. But let's be honest, the most damage you get hitting bases is from the guard fleet. That assault deflection, when you actually calculate that versus, for example, blades at the minus 60% for the remote targeting range, and stuff like that, you can make this pretty nasty to sort of, taking real minimum damage off of it because of that assault.
Yeah. Bypass works against this stuff, but somebody commented in chat before the show that that there was the you could try the bypass missiles, except the bypass missiles do a lot less damage off the bat, and so that minus even 150 from a Harrier is not going to do much damage either.
No, this is going to be one tough cookie to stop.
Yeah.
Especially because, a lot of people have gone to Mastodons in their base now, or Rhinos. With missiles, this is going to be quite hard to kill from a remote targeting point of view.
Yeah. All right. So what else has this got? This is really high resist, not much evade, and the deflection actually happens after the resistance. So so that's gonna again reduce your damage even more. You've got the scattergun reload 50%. You've got a really high speed and a really bad turn. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I like it. I think it'd make a really good spotter for doing Forsaken mission and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you haven't got Neptune already. It's going to be quite a nice baser. I think that the range of the scatterguns is probably going to be the only benefit in base defense, really, because those pyros are going to hurt it quite a lot. But yeah, it's a nice hull. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to kill.
I think it's stupid. Personally, it's stupid and overpowered. For example, I was playing with it yesterday, and I got 82% evade, 91% ballistic missile, and excuse me, and explosive defenses on it, and like 86% radioactive defense off of it. Yeah, that's crazy, especially when you add in the assault deflection as well. That's just nuts.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Let's move on to the scatterguns. So first we got the heavy scattergun. So we got 6 million points. It's probably the first heavy weapon that you actually want to use. It's got the same range as our other scatterguns, lots of damage, a little better reload time, 15 multi-shot, so it's going to fire these pellets all over the place. And then it gives a defense and a speed buff. So, you know, if you're looking at building a heavy cruiser as a tank, you know, you could just drop these on there more for the defense than their offense even.
Yeah, like I said, if you want to get the resistances up really high, you need to use a couple of these on there.
Yep. All right, and then the Scattergun M, again, 6 million points, a little bit shorter range, and a little bit less damage than the Cobra, but a shorter reload time. Neither of these scatterguns do that damage over time stack that the Cobra scattergun does. And then this one gives you a plus 5% combat speed. But I think that the biggest news on this is it's got a really short build time, under 3 hours with an officer, but it costs uranium to build. So that's kind of a big deal. What do you think?
You know, I quite like the idea. I think, though, that you should have 2 different build times for it, one with and one without uranium. You know, for the people who can't get uranium for any reason, so that there is an option that they don't have to spend the uranium that may be in short supply for them just to build a weapon.
Yep.
You know?
Although, I don't know, people that are really hurting for uranium these days are not going to be getting, you know, are not, this isn't going to be a priority weapon for them.
Well, no, agreed, but I still think that they should have the option, is what I'm saying. You know, they might have, for example, hell strikes that they might want to put them on.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just my thoughts on it. You know, it'd be nice to have the option of, you know, because they were all saying that the Cobra scattergun's, what, 2 days, 4 hours or something like that, is it? And this is only 3 hours with an officer because of the uranium.
Yep.
All right, make it 2 days without the uranium.
Yeah. Well, I'd never spend 2 days building one of these. I mean, that's just not that good. So,
well, no. But,
so I threw them all together on a chart, did my usual DPS per ton and all that kind of stuff. And the heavy weapon looks to be the best value in a sense in terms of damage per weight. So, you know, again, you stack them up, and if you say I want to use scatterguns, it does make sense to use the heavy weapons if you got them. But in terms of their overall damage, you know, comparison, you know, you look at raw DPS per weight of 43 for the heavy scattergun. A blade is 75. So it's good damage, but it's not like the best damage you've ever seen. So there's that. I put these on the bubble chart, and you can kind of see that their damage per weight. Now these numbers are a little different because I put them on a heavy cruiser with high explosive shells. So sorry guys. So these numbers look a little higher, but that's how I'm trying to compare these different weapon classes. So they're in the mix. It's just their short range is kind of, you know, going to be unpleasant to deal with. So so that they're an option. It's something to put in your toolkit. You can see the bubble size corresponds to their build time. So the Scattergun M has this really tiny build time for its weight. Heavy Scattergun's kind of in the same neighborhood as a lot of the other weapons, maybe a little longer than like a blade in terms of build time per weight. And then the Cobra's got a very long build time per weight. So then we get into the rest of the prizes. I usually try and highlight kind of the best prizes to get in each tier. I didn't like anything from the first two tiers. I don't know about you, Irf.
Yeah, there's not really a lot there that really interests me, really.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to think about even the newer players, and I don't see anything in those first two tiers that's really going to help an up and coming player.
Not really, no. I mean, what's the D63V you can get from Blueprints? I think maybe the D3P
May
just to get rid of some things out of the Forsaken mission, maybe.
Yeah,
It's not really that important to a lower level person, really. Compound panel C is complete junk.
yeah,
I mean, the Siege Battery 1's not a bad option, I suppose, in tier 2.
right, right. I said in the article, if you're a new player, you know, and you're looking at these first few tiers, just get the best siege battery you can and be done with it. I don't, I don't know. Maybe they tried to make some targets for lower level players, but they didn't make any prizes for lower level players.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough one, really. I would have liked to have seen a bit better sort of pick in there, really. Some more useful stuff than what's in there.
Yeah, like light cruiser hull or one of those other small draconian hulls or some of the smaller weapons. They've put some of the siege missile B and the vortex Z, and there have been some useful little weapons that they've had in the last couple raids. This one's got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think the D4P, I think, is a bit of people thinking, with with Scourge targets that are going to be around for a little while, maybe it's additional sonar is going to help you out. To be honest, it doesn't help you out enough to warrant having it on your stuff, really.
Yeah, I'd put evade on a sub hunter. I said that exact thing in the article too.
Yeah. So, I mean, countermeasure target in tier 3, um, compound panels is pretty good.
Right, right. I
But
circled
yeah,
those two, and in fact, I'd kind of forgotten about countermeasure targeting, and so I put that up here since you bring it up. So it adds accuracy to everything, and then it adds countermeasure range. Um, and again, this had kind of slipped my mind as a special in the toolkit, but it might be useful for the Drac coaxes, although I'm not sure the accuracy affects the countermeasures because the countermeasures are splash.
yeah. To be honest, I've actually seen those working now, and I'm not really impressed by the Dracox turrets, to be honest.
Mm,
And they don't seem to do a lot. Well, like I said in the first place, I don't think they would do a lot to blades, but they really don't do a lot.
okay, good to know. I haven't built mine yet.
So, I mean, I hit a base with 6 of them in there, and it was like cutting through butter with a hot knife. So,
Oh, really? And I think we're seeing a lot more legendary
well, 5
rhinos.
maybe. I might as
Yeah.
well say 5, not 6.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Can't have 6.
Yeah, it was 5 and a flak, I think.
All right. All right. But let's move on to the other tiers. So I like these prizes a lot better. Um, the first few tiers, I think there wasn't much I wanted. Tier 4, all that stuff is actually usable. Um, I mean, UAVs aren't too popular right now, but if you're using UAVs, you want power cells, right?
Yeah, for sure. They're not massively useful. Dead Executioner, 20 million points. I think it's a bit too much for it. It's not really that good of a turret, in my opinion, to warrant that.
Yeah, yeah.
I think there's other stuff that you can get in there, and if I had a choice between getting a heavy cruiser and a heavy scattergun versus a Deadeye Executioner, I know which one I'd pick.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the thing about the Deadeye is it's not much better than a regular Executioner. It just has that longer range.
Yeah,
So,
and really to get the best benefit out of it, you want to put smart warheads on it, which means you've got to have a level 6 turret.
yep, yep.
So, that's extra time and building time, and the build time on it's insane as well.
That's right. Was that the 20-day turret?
Yeah, it was like 18 or 19 days, something like that.
That's right. I forgot about that.
It's like as long as a Wendigo, maybe a little bit longer.
Hmm.
So to me, it's not an important turret to have, really. Um, it's not really worth the points in my opinion. I think the ones that I'd go for there, um, sort of priority wise, if you haven't got it D5E armor, yes, it's
Yep.
available uh, in the Forsaken missions and stuff like that, or has been and will be. The Sharon torpedo, if you haven't got the Styx torpedo, the Sharon torpedo, get it, because that extra bit of range allows you to do the Draconian Marauders for nothing with subs. So that's also, for me, would be um, the two that I would say are pretty good. And of course, the APOC mortar, if you haven't got that as well. I think the APOC mortar over the Deadeye Executioner is more of um, a helpful turret for you to have, really.
Yeah, I agree with all that. And I think the other thing though, don't overlook the siege battery, especially
Oh
when
yeah,
you've got ships with 5 specials. Siege battery is a great thing to use.
oh for sure, definitely.
Yep.
But yeah, it really depends on what level you're at, really. Um, like I
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
the two least useful there are probably the power cell and the executioner.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So moving on, top prizes. We already went through them. Um, and then the limited prints. I mean, I circled the ones I like the best. Hydraulic resistors, particularly, we haven't seen those available for purchase before. It's Speed System 5 with 15% concussive resistance, so that's pretty nice.
It's the same weight as well, I think, isn't it? Or just a little touch higher weight.
Yeah, yeah,
I know
not
it's
much.
very similar anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And then I really like Compound D6A. And agility 4, I guess, is starting to grow on me. I haven't used it yet, but agility has a long build time.
Yeah, it does have a long build time, but yeah, I have to agree with you. It's quite good. I'm not a fan of the Fallout armors, um,
Right.
particularly. Although it does have its uses, with a lot of people shying away from using ballistic type weapons now. Um, it can have its uses, but I think that the compound D6A is a lot more. I'd be going for that over anything else, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I took all I could at the D6A last time.
Yeah, and if you haven't got any Cobra scatter guns, get some because they're
Hmm.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll quite gladly sell you some as well. So
If only.
I
All
have
right.
200 available to use.
All right. Token store. They didn't say it, but I have heard. I just couldn't dig through everything to find it that it's the same limits as last time. So this is the same chart as last time. Get tokens if you think they're worth it to you. And then we've got screw ups. So Earth, this one's bugging you quite a bit. The extra pop-up.
Let's just say yes. Otherwise, I'll say something with lots of expletives.
Yeah.
It's not very nice. It's an extra pop-up. So basically, you go in peak base. As if it wasn't bad enough getting injured by tigers anyway. Now you go in peak base, retreat out to reposition yourself, or even if it's a dead base, you go in there and go to hit it, and you retreat out. As you come out, you get the normal pop-up, which people are there ready to click it so that they can move, and now you get two. You get one for the base, and then one which I think is the FDF one.
Yeah.
So you can't move your fleet, and you end up getting injured. And I've lost 8 fleets in one day to it. And Kicks are like, well, we've never heard of this. Nobody's reported this. I was like, well, I know for a fact that 40 people in my alliance have done it. And they've put tickets in it because they're fed up of it. So we've been told now that it is an issue, and the game team are looking into it. But that's about it, really. I hope it gets fixed soon, because I've just basically kept all my fleets in my base until it's fixed, because I can't be bothered with having the repairs.
Yeah. All right, and then we talked before about the video not agreeing with the raid briefing and the raid briefing being wrong on prize redemptions. So that all is a mess. Heavy Cruiser Blueprint description says it's got hybrid mounts, but it's only got surface mounts, which is a big deal because you can't put Cobras on it. Not that you'd want to, I think. So yeah, plenty to complain about this week. And then for the breakthrough, I didn't have any ideas. I don't know. You could talk about the new scattergun weapon and that it's a lot quicker to build, but it costs uranium. I think some people will see that as a breakthrough. Other people will see it as a screw up.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a bit of a trade-off. I think that it's a breakthrough that they've done it, because a lot of people have been asking for reduced build times and possibility of using uranium in order to speed that up. But I also think it's a screw up the fact that they didn't make it 2 options so that you could build it without or without uranium. So I think that's one for both of the sides, really, in my opinion. I don't know, what does chat think? Do they agree with me, or do they have something else? Screw up completely.
Let's see what chat
She's hot is another one. Vincent oh yeah, the Tiger Sharks are still not fixed as well. That's another one.
Oh yeah.
On those. Yeah, that's about it, I think.
All right.
Don't think anybody's really impressed, really.
Yeah.
No, still not time correct down, no matter how many times dives or services. That's related to the Tiger Sharks. So those of you that don't know, Tiger Sharks, seeing the submerged time seems to be out of whack. It's not quite right. It's obviously, I personally, when I'm using subs, I don't look at the little icon in the front of it that tells you what's what. I use the timer in the battle in order to know what I'm sort of when I'm expected to pop up, and it's annoying me because I'm thinking that I've got time and I haven't. and a lot of other people are the same. So, who is that behind you, Prof? People would like to know.
Yeah, that's Mrs. Prof.
Mrs. Prof. There we go. Now we figure out all of the giggling.
Yeah, she came in here, tried to be distracting. She possibly succeeded.
Right. So yeah, I'm looking. Let's see. Come on, out of the way.
All right.
Right. Is there anything else that people would like to chat about, or anything else? No. Shut the feed down now. Okay then.
All right. I guess it's a short show.
Right. Okay. Cool. So thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Larry's put an article out today, so if you want to go and read it, go and read it. If you don't, then don't. Yeah. Check out the BPC page for some builds and stuff. I'll chuck some bits and pieces on there. And yeah, the prof has more important things to do. Please shut down the feed. I do like that. It's quite good. So yeah, we'll see you Friday for a community show and some bits and pieces for the raid. Any tips and tricks that we find, we'll post some videos on. And we shall see you for next week's update show on Wednesday. So thanks, guys, and we'll catch you later.
Night, everybody.